So if you ever had a guess of what type of world we live in, where there is evil people, horrible corporations, Nintendo is definitely the one that comes to mind to me. Now, yes, I do talk good about all of their games themselves because yes, I in fact am still a very big fan of Nintendo's IPs. But Nintendo is also a company that comes to mind when I think of out of touch moron old boomers that don't understand the world at all. While yes, technically some of the stuff they're doing is kind of legal, basically, I think it's also bullshit. Palworld mods have been getting taken down, and certain videos from what I see on TikTok have been removed covering a lot of this, probably with the footage if I had to guess. It was hard to pinpoint a lot of it. I tried to go through as much as I could, but it just shows how out of touch they really are. And it sucks because they do make what I consider good quality games. As far as their main IPs, it's been around since, all of us were children. Nintendo as a whole pretty much revitalized gaming entirely. And it sucks to see them play basically the villain at this point. So for people that don't know, or if you're living under a rock, Palworld is a game that's pretty much taken over right now because of the fact that you pretty much can do whatever the hell you want with the same idea as like Pokemon is, where you capture and use, these animals, creatures, and people to your advantage however you want. Now, I unfortunately have not played it yet because I don't get on my Xbox a lot, and I do have a back catalog game, so I'm not too worried about it. From what I understand, it's going to come to PlayStation at some point. And when it does, I might pick it up then. The controversies don't even end there. A lot of people actually want Palworld to be taken down just because they said that their animations were shit, that they were stolen property. And I don't know if anybody understands this. For the most part, if it's essentially a parody, you can kind of get away with it. If anybody remembers, not too long ago, Meat Canyon got in trouble. And it had to do with WB's ownership of Bugs Bunny. Now, the funny part about all this is the reason why they got away with it and considered it not a parody, they had to basically admit that Bugs Bunny SAs people, that he was a predator, that he was in fact a monster. That quite literally is how it pretty much went down. And Pokemon, as you know, is pretty much, geared towards children or longtime fans. And Nintendo is pretty much the head of, family fun if you had to, put a label on them. And for that to be it, they would have to admit that their Pokemon is quite literally slavery and all these other very negative connotations. And I don't think they're going to admit to that, but I'm going to say I don't think they're going to go down without a fight. That's why they've been busting these modders so quickly. It's because they want their name as far away from this as possible. On an off note, the developers wanted to put guns in it because they wanted the Americans to be a part of it and buy it. Hey, fucking kudos, man. You know it's too good. I get it. Guns go pew pew pow pow, awesome. But yeah, I have to say this is like a fucking huge L for Nintendo. It's absolute trash to sit there and treat people like that. And not to mention, it's just free. It's just free mods that people are just developing. Nobody's making money off of it. I'm not saying that they can't legally do this. I'm not arguing that the legalities in this. My whole thing is, it doesn't make sense to me. These are just people doing something for fun, making a game that's already good better. I'm a big person that got into mods back on Skyrim. That's my first introduction to mods. In fact, that's the whole reason why I even built a computer, was to get back into playing games with mods, and I thought they were amazing. Not to mention Steam makes it so simple. Now, obviously, when I say mods, I'm talking about Steam, and when other people are talking about mods, they mean these communities where you can actually go to different websites to pull mods. And you got to be smarter than I am to go on there without getting a virus, because I definitely don't feel like giving my computer AIDS at any point in time. But of course, you have to realize this is Nintendo we're talking about. They have copyright strike people back in the past just for music that they really don't have an official release on. They've copyright strike people all the time. They definitely hate their community. Now, I understand modded consoles is a bit of an iffy subject to even try to say is okay as far as like using them online. I can understand if like you have a modded PS5 and they're like, hey, you may have modded it, you could be cheating on games. I get the thought behind that. To understand, that's not really what the whole argument is. These are simple private games that you can own, but you're playing by yourself that you're modding or whatever else you're doing with it. I don't see the problem with that. Unfortunately, a lot of companies don't see that, and they think, oh, well, the game we made is the game you're going to play, and how dare you have fun outside of our parameters. Think about it. A lot of games actually cut the speedrunning parts out of games that didn't even affect the game none. Didn't break them. They just took them out to say, fuck you. Instead of making my damn remaster of Metroid Prime 2 and 3, I guess they're going after modders and copyright striking videos. If I had to guess, they're probably hitting people on YouTube too. I wouldn't be surprised if this video got cut down if I didn't even, if I don't title it right. If I was to say, oh, check this out, Palworld mods, I bet it would be taken down without even being watched. But yeah, I thought that was just really weird, considering the fact that Palworld's been taken over. I had a conversation with somebody at work about this. I think it's going to be taking money out of like Pokemon sales for just a little bit. I'm not going to say it's going to drastically like change the Pokemon ecosystem, but I think it's going to put a dent in their overall for just a little bit until they decide to, you know, clone the last game they made again and add some very stupid DLC that I'm sure my coworker's going to buy and say it's all great. And then I have to tell him that he's dumb, and then he's going to tell me I'm thick-headed, and then we're going to have our 2-3 minute argument. Then I'll go back to work and he'll go back to work, and then we'll talk about something else an hour later. So yeah, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Please let your friends know. That's all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.